This video is sponsored by Storyblocks, the best platform on the internet for creatives to access royalty-free, demand-driven videos, audio tracks, and photos. Side hustles are a way for people to make money alongside their normal form of employment. The promise of a side hustle is that you can earn some extra money to treat yourself to a vacation, save for a future goal, or simply to make your everyday finances less stressful. Side hustles can take on many different forms, ranging from flipping stuff on eBay to driving for Uber. Some of these hustles have the promise of making some very decent money, and alongside a boost to everyday finances, some people might maintain the dream of making their side hustle their full-time job. This dream can be particularly alluring for people that are making a side hustle out of monetizing their hobbies, who wouldn't want to be paid for doing something that they would have done for fun anyway. It's a promising concept, and it's no wonder that interest in side hustles has exploded in recent years. But if we try to be honest with ourselves, nobody wants a side hustle. Nobody gets home from a long day in the office and thinks to themselves, I can't wait to drive drunk people home from the bar or deal with customer complaints on my eBay store. No, people need side hustles, and if they are lucky, they have convinced themselves that they don't totally hate them. You have probably heard platitudes like, in order to be successful, you need multiple streams of income, or nobody ever got wealthy off a 9-to-5. And these ideas really support the idea of getting out there and working on something more than your career. Side hustles and hustle culture in general might look harmless. After all, what's the problem with motivated individuals doing a little bit of extra work to put some more money in their pockets? Maybe side hustles can do some good, and I promise I will look at some examples that do genuinely make some sense in this video. But as always, my main goal is to try to ruin a good thing and show you that this push to normalize and incentivize side hustles is something we probably shouldn't be too excited about. So it's time to learn how money works, which was made possible this week by Storyblocks, the best platform on the internet for creatives to access high-quality videos, photos, and audio tracks. All of my videos are made using Storyblocks, and without their easy-to-use website, I would be stuck spending hours searching the internet for the right clip and then following up with more hours spent reaching out to whoever owned the clip in the off chance that they would let me use it in my videos. Storyblocks can take hours worth of work and compress it into something as simple as typing in the clip you are looking for into an easy-to-use search bar. The best part is that while other footage services can charge hundreds of dollars per clip, Storyblocks gives you unlimited downloads, all with an incredibly affordable subscription plan. If you want to take your creative projects to the next level, use the link in the video description below to sign up, and see how much easier your next project can be with Storyblocks. Now, a side hustle should ideally be able to accommodate 4 important parameters. It has to make money, otherwise it's just a hobby. It has to be doable outside your regular working hours. It has to be something you have the expertise and resources to accomplish, and if it accomplishes this, then why not make it your full-time job? Conveniently, these requirements give a would-be side hustler a checklist of very important questions they should ask themselves before starting out, but I am getting ahead of myself now. Let's start with the first one. Most side hustles are just very small businesses, and making money in business is surprisingly difficult. There is a reason why most of them fail. You can go for the easy options like driving for Uber, and you will be guaranteed a basic level of income so long as you pick up rides as they become available, but there are obviously problems with this system. You will be giving a fair chunk of your income away to the company that facilitates this work, and even if you do fully commit yourself to driving in your off hours, the income you receive from doing this is likely going to be lower than most regular jobs after factoring in additional insurance and the extra miles you put on your car. I have already made an entire video about the shortfalls of starting a business with apps like Uber, so I won't dwell on these for too long, and instead I want to look at side hustles that are more self-driven. Flipping things in online marketplaces, consulting, or doing chores like gardening are other popular options that give you the opportunity to make money without an app-based middleman. Let's go with something very simple, like mowing lawns for your neighbors on the weekend. This can make money, so it passes the first test. It's also done outside of regular working hours, so it passes the next test. And you might think that you wouldn't need much expertise and resources to set this gig up, but you might be surprised. Most lawns only need to be cut once every 2 weeks, which means if you want to make this a consistent hustle, you are going to need more than just a lawnmower and a gallon of lemonade. Before you start making any money, you are going to need to go door to door asking people if they want their lawns mowed. It sounds easy, but going door to door to sell something is a terrifying experience for 99% of people. And even people confident enough to do it would be surprised how hard it would be to find enough people to agree with your services to make wasting your weekend worth it in the first place. And yes, before you write about it in the comment section, I did have a job for 3 weeks doing door-to-door sales in college. Please don't hate me. Anyway, let's say you are made of the right stuff to go out and drum up business for your weekend lawn mowing gig, and it goes so well that you are fully booked out mowing lawns. You have to ask yourself the question of why you don't just make this your new full-time job. If you make more money at your regular job, then perhaps you would have been better served just doing some overtime. If overtime isn't a thing in your office, then perhaps finding a part-time weekend job in the same field would work for you. If you do make more money mowing lawns, then maybe your answer to this question is that you just don't want to mow lawns for more than 1 day a week. That's fair, but then why the hell are you doing this to yourself? If you enjoy mowing lawns less than your day job, then you have just signed yourself up for some well-paid torture. But there is a solution to this, which is to focus on where you added the most value in your hustle. In this example, that would be in the door-to-door sales. If you didn't hate that, then you would be best focusing on and pursuing a career in sales where you can just focus on where you're good at without a need to push a lawnmower around all weekend. Of course, this is just one example amongst the plethora of different side hustles available to you. So don't take this as career advice on building your lawn care empire. But instead, let it demonstrate that most value comes from specializing in one thing and then doing that thing extremely well. An extremely good salesman who spends most of their time pushing around a lawnmower is not going to make as much money as an extremely good salesman who focuses on closing deals. A website developer will on average make more money building websites all day than they would by building their own website to try and sell socks online. This advice goes directly against what you might have heard about most millionaires having 7 different sources of income. So who's telling the truth here? Well, this claim originally comes from a 2002 study published by the IRS, which tracked 6,053 wealthy individuals who had died between 1996 and 2002. The study looked at their tax returns and found that these millionaires had 7 distinct forms of income: investment income, earned income, rental income, royalty income, capital gains, profits, and interest income. Immediately, you can start to see the problem here. Most of these income types are simply the result of being rich to begin with, not from going out and #grinding. The study also showed that most people built their wealth by building one business or focusing on one highly compensated career, which they could then use to buy up assets that would provide these other income streams. The claim that the average millionaire has an average of 7 income streams is also pushing the wording of this report to the level that it's an outright lie. Only 29% of millionaires in this study reported 5 or more streams of income, with the majority having just 3. Still impressive, but it's not out of the ordinary for a wealthy person to have a job, get some dividends, and earn some money from interest in a savings account. This rather disappointing reality is a far cry from what some people might want you to think when they say this phrase. But I'm sorry, nobody really gets rich by doing half a dozen jobs. There is also one other problem with drawing any conclusions from this study, which is becoming a common theme for this channel, and that is selection bias. This study looked at people that died between 1996 and 2002. Most people die when they're old. Older people, especially rich older people, have had more time to accumulate assets to diversify their income away from their primary earned income. Most of you watching are a long way from death, hopefully. And 99% of people that achieve massive financial success at a young age do it by maxing out one income stream. Or getting a nice inheritance. That works too. So if the common belief about multiple income streams is not true, why then do you see it repeated everywhere? The cynic in me wants to say that a lot of people spouting this nonsense have some kind of hidden interest in selling you a course or something on building out your next income stream. And that's definitely part of it. But honestly, I think that most people that perpetuate these ideas are people who genuinely need to believe it's true. Young workers have never known a world with the level of job security, career progression, and opportunities available to the generations that came before them. Having a backup form of income in case you get fired out of the blue one day no longer sounds like doomsday prepping, it's just prudent advice. I am also well aware of people that need multiple gigs to support themselves and their families because they don't receive enough income from their main job. But to be fair, this should be called what it is, which is working multiple jobs. To call what someone is doing in these situations a side hustle is just sugarcoating a shitty situation. So, despite what I have said so far, I don't want you to brush the whole idea of side hustles off. I just want to make sure you are asking these questions, so you can avoid wasting your time working just to make some guru or tech company rich. So, what would a decent side hustle look like? I have no doubt that some people have already left comments pointing out how hypocritical it is of me to point out the shortcomings of side hustle culture on a YouTube channel that is literally my side hustle. But I do practice what I preach, and I did ask these questions before I started making videos. Does YouTube have the potential to make money? Yes. It's by no means a guarantee, but if you work hard and are extremely lucky, it can be very rewarding. Is it doable outside my regular working hours? Yes, I can make videos any time of day. Do I have the expertise to make it work? Yes. I work in banking, so I have experience on the subject matter of my channel, and I did some online courses in video editing. As for the question, why not make it my full-time job? Well, I want to, and it's hopefully something I will be able to do full-time this year. I didn't start this as a side hustle. I started this as something I wanted to make my primary business. Building a business on the side of your regular job is a great way to try things out. It lets you experience what running a business is like, and it's much less risky than going all in and depending on the success of a new business to put food on the table. But what are some things that make sense to do if your plans are to just keep your day job long term? There are actually a few. Take an example like credit card churning. This is where you will sign up for new credit cards, spend money you normally would on living expenses to qualify for sign-up bonuses, and then exchange those bonus points for cash. Anybody with decent credit can do this. It only takes a few minutes to fill out an application form, and some bonuses can be worth thousands of dollars. There are examples of people making this their full-time jobs. In fact, I made a video about a man who did just that last week. But unless you find a loophole in the system, you are really limited by the amount of the sign-up promotions on offer and how many credit cards the bank will let you have open at any given time. Credit card churning is just one example of a side hustle that actually does make sense, and I'm not even saying it's the best one. But it works to show that if you ask these questions before starting a new project, you won't be sucked into doing something you hate because some schmuck on the internet said you should be working 120 hours a week in your 20s. Now, if instead of finding opportunities to work more, you instead want an excuse to work less, then go and watch my video on the surprisingly solid case for a 3-day work week. Thanks again for Storyblocks for making it possible for everybody to keep on learning how money works.